Benjamin Netanyahu has a habit of promising dramatic announcements in the run-up to elections, and he did so again on Tuesday. When it came, it was not a unilateral decision about annexation, as some had predicted. Instead, the message to right-wing settler voters was a vote for Netanyahu would, in concert with the Trump administration, mean extending Israeli sovereignty to all illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank, and in the shorter term, the annexation of the Jordan Valley.
There is one place where it's possible to apply Israeli sovereignty immediately after the election, if I receive a clear mandate to do so from you, the citizens of Israel. In recent months I've led a diplomatic effort in this direction, and in recent days the conditions for this have ripened. Today I'm announcing my intention to apply, with the formation of the next government, Israeli sovereignty on the Jordan Valley and northern Dead Sea.
The Jordan Valley represents some 30% of the occupied West Bank and some of its most fertile agricultural land. Israeli policy has long been that it needs to retain control there for national security, but the prospect of a unilateral Israeli annexation, as Netanyahu is promising, would explode any faint remaining hopes of a viable Palestinian state alongside Israel.
Keeping Palestinians in their small towns and villages as prisoners without any freedom, that is a war crime. And as we are about to enter the 74th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations, the international community must stand tall now, all, to say a big no and to stop treating Israel as a country above the laws of man.
At the United Nations, there was further condemnation.
Such a prospect would be devastating to the potential of reviving negotiations, regional peace, and the very essence of a two-state solution.
But there is a hugely important caveat to all this. To enact his plan, Netanyahu first has to win the election, then create a right-wing coalition government that would endorse it, and then push it through in the face of international pressure, and by then an intensifying battle against his own corruption charges. Israelis have heard him talk annexation before without following through. That's a point political opponents and political analysts were making even before Netanyahu had finished talking.
This is electioneering at its best. There is no connection between what Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu, said tonight and what's going to happen after the election, whether he's elected or not. This is what I like to say is Israeli elections are very much like Las Vegas and hotels in Las Vegas. What happens during Israeli elections stays in Israeli elections.
Later, at another campaign event in southern Israel, Netanyahu was briefly rushed from the stage, sirens sounding. The Israeli military said rockets had been fired out of Gaza. A dramatic end to a day when, whether he makes good on it or not, he confirmed his position as one entirely at odds with the two-state solution, the concept that remains the international consensus on how the Israeli-Palestinian conflict should end. Harry Fawcett, Al Jazeera, West Jerusalem.